Welcome back to the Pundit Habibi podcast, everyone. Ready for match day 14. Buckle up because we're diving into a packed midweek round of Premier League action.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a feast of football this week with matches from Tuesday to Thursday.
And, you know, Liverpool are sitting pretty at the top 11 points clear.
Can anyone stop them?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
Plus, we've got Man City in a bit of a slump right now.
Yeah, they're struggling.
So plenty of drama to unpack. And to spice things up even more, we've got the Opta Supercomputer predictions to add another layer of,
insight.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to break it all down, match by match, give you the Opta insights, so you can impress your mates with your Premier League knowledge and maybe even win a few bets along the way.
Sounds good.
All right, so before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's give our listeners a sneak peek at what Opta's saying about the big guns, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. What's the supercomputer predicting for these title contenders?
Well, for Man City, Opta reckons they'll finally break that winless streak. 7 matches without a win. Can you believe it?
It's painful to watch, to be honest.
They're playing Nottingham Forest on Wednesday, and Opta gives them a massive 66.8% chance of victory.
Wow. That's a bold prediction.
It is. It's actually the highest win probability of the entire match day. They're basically banking on Haaland continuing his goal-scoring rampage at the Etihad. And, he's been particularly lethal against Forest in the past.
Fingers crossed for City fans. They desperately need a win. Okay, what about Arsenal? Can they keep their winning run going against Manchester United?
Opta gives them a good chance. 62% to be precise.
Not bad.
They've had United's number lately, winning the last 3 matches. And let's not forget, United's awful record at the Emirates. Haven't won there in their last 6 visits.
Ouch. That's got to hurt for United supporters.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, Liverpool. Can they maintain their red-hot form against Newcastle? I mean, they're coming off huge wins against Man City and Real Madrid, and historically they've just dominated Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle haven't beaten Liverpool in 15 matches, and Salah always seems to score against them. But Opta's only giving Liverpool a slight edge here, 50.2% chance of victory. Newcastle can be a tough nut to crack at home, so it'll be an interesting one.
A real test for Klopp's men, for sure. Okay, so we've got some juicy predictions for the top 3 there. Now let's dive into the rest of Matchday 14, starting with Tuesday's matches. We've got Ipswich taking on Crystal Palace.
Oh yeah, it's a big one.
And Leicester, under their new manager Van Nistelrooy, facing West Ham. What do you think?
Well, that Ipswich Palace game is a real relegation 6-pointer.
Relegation 6-pointer, what's that all about?
Basically means it's a crucial match for teams battling to avoid relegation. Both teams are down there on 9 points struggling. And Opta's predicting a really tight match, 26.4% chance of a draw.
So basically too close to call.
Yeah, pretty much. Palace usually handle promoted teams like Ipswich quite easily, but Ipswich have shown some fight lately, so it's really anyone's guess.
Yeah, it could go either way. Now, the other Tuesday fixture is super interesting. Ruud van Nistelrooy making his managerial debut for Leicester against West Ham. Talk about a baptism by fire.
Yeah, tough first match for him. West Ham have been a bit up and down this season. Brilliant one week and then frustratingly inconsistent the next. It'll be interesting to see what kind of impact Van Nistelrooy can have on a Leicester side that's really struggling to find their rhythm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's fast forward to Wednesday, which is absolutely jam-packed with 6 matches. Yeah. We've got Everton and Wolves both coming off losses. They'll both be looking to bounce back. But Wolves have had the upper hand in recent meetings.
They have. But what's interesting is that Opta is actually favoring Everton in this one, 45.8% chance of victory. They say Dwight McNeil's been playing really well at Goodison Park, and he could be the key factor.
Everton will need him to be at his best if they want to break Wolves' recent dominance in this fixture. All right, now let's move on to what could be the most one-sided match the entire match day. Man City versus Nottingham Forest. We talk about City's desperate need to end their winless streak, and Forest have been absolutely dreadful on their travels to Manchester.
Dreadful is an understatement. They've lost all 4 of their away matches against City and United, and the combined score, 14-2. Plus, they've got to try and stop Haaland, who averages over a goal per game at the Etihad. He's been ruthless against Forest.
So it's no surprise. Opta's giving City a massive 66.8% chance of victory.
Right.
Hard to see anything but a comfortable City win here. But, hey, this is the Premier League.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. Next up, we've got a clash of styles and fortunes as an inconsistent Newcastle welcome a high-flying Liverpool to St. James's Park. Liverpool are on fire right now, and they've got a fantastic record against the Magpies.
Yeah, Newcastle haven't beaten Liverpool in 15 attempts. And like we said earlier, Salah always seems to score against them. It's going to be a fascinating tactical battle, though. Newcastle's solid defense and counter-attacking threat against Liverpool's relentless pressing and attacking firepower.
Opta gives Liverpool the slight edge, 50.2% chance of victory. But this one feels like a real toss-up to me. Wouldn't be surprised at all to see Newcastle pull off an upset, especially with the home crowd behind them.
You never know.
Let's pick up where we left off on Wednesday night. Southampton hosting Chelsea. Southampton are at the bottom of the table, and Chelsea are up there in second place level with Arsenal.
Yeah, big contrast in form there. But, Southampton have actually won their last 2 matches against Chelsea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but if you look back a bit further, Chelsea have been absolutely dominant in this fixture. They haven't failed to score in their last 18 league away games against Southampton, and their goals per game ratio against them is crazy high. Opta heavily favors Chelsea, 64.2% chance of victory.
Can't believe Southampton are going to need a miracle to get anything from this one. All right, now let's switch gears to a real blockbuster at the Emirates. Arsenal trying to extend their winning streak against a Manchester United side that's, desperate to prove they can hang with the big boys.
Yeah, huge game for both teams, especially for their title hopes. Arsenal have had the psychological edge lately, winning their last 3 against United. And we mentioned this before, but United's away form in London has been shocking. They've only won 2 of their last 18 trips to the capital, both against Fulham.
So not a good track record for United then. But they did get their first league win under their new manager, Amarim, last time out.
They did.
So can they build on that momentum and shock the Gunners at the Emirates?
I don't know about that. Opta's not giving them much of a chance. They're predicting a 62% probability of an Arsenal win. One to watch is Bukayo Saka. He's been on fire this season, and he always seems to cause United problems. He's already been directly involved in 5 goals against them in the Premier League.
Yeah, Saka's a real danger man. Okay, let's move on to a match that's crucial at the other end of the table. Aston Villa hosting Brentford. Villa are stuck in a rut. 8 matches without a win.
Yeah, the pressure's mounting on Gerrard for sure. Another defeat could be a real problem. Brentford have been doing better than expected this season, but they haven't done well against the top teams. They haven't won any of their last 10 matches against sides that finish in the top 4 last season.
So you're thinking Villa have a decent chance to finally get back to winning ways then?
Yeah, maybe Opta gives them a slight edge, 50.8% chance of victory. Villa have a decent home record. They've only lost 1 of their last 11 league games at Villa Park. They need to make that home advantage count if they want to snap this winless streak.
It's crunch time for them, for sure. Brentford might be just the right opponent at the right time. Okay, let's wrap up Wednesday's action with a match between 2 of the most exciting and unpredictable teams outside the Big Six, Fulham versus Brighton.
Yeah, this is a good one. 2 attack-minded teams with very different styles. Fulham have the historical advantage in this fixture. They're unbeaten in their last 8 Premier League matches against Brighton, but Brighton are 4 points ahead of them in the table right now, and they're playing some really attractive football under De Zerbi.
It's a tough one to call, Anna. Fulham have the home advantage and the head-to-head record, but Brighton's form is hard to ignore. What does Opta say?
Opta's calling it a very close match, 26.4% chance of a draw. That's actually the highest draw probability of any match on Matchday 14. It really could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of goals.
Sounds like a great match for the neutral fan. Okay, so that's it for Wednesday, a real feast of football. Yeah. Now let's look ahead to Thursday, where we've got 2 more interesting matches to break down. First up, Bournemouth hosting Tottenham. Bournemouth have been giant killers at home this season, beating both Arsenal and Man City. But their record against Spurs is not so good.
Yeah, they've only beaten Spurs twice in their 14 Premier League meetings. But what makes this match really interesting is Tottenham's attacking record against Bournemouth. They average a crazy 2.5 goals per game against the Cherries. Their highest against any team they've faced, at least 10 times.
Wow, that's a crazy stat. So it sounds like Spurs know how to find the back of the net against Bournemouth. Does Opta think it'll be an easy away win for Tottenham then?
They do give Spurs the edge, 43.8% chance of victory. But Bournemouth have proven they can pull off upsets, especially at home. Remember, they were massive underdogs when they beat Arsenal and City. So don't rule out another shock result.
Yeah, you never know with this Bournemouth team. Okay, let's wrap up our Matchday 14 preview with the final fixture. Another Fulham versus Brighton match. It's not often you see the same 2 teams play each other twice in such a short space of time.
It is unusual. Like we talked about earlier, Fulham have a good record against Brighton historically, but Brighton are in better form this season.
It'll be interesting to see if either manager makes any big changes to their lineup or tactics, considering they played each other just a few days ago. What's Opta's prediction for this second Fulham-Brighton clash?
They're sticking with their original prediction. Slight edge to a draw, 26.4%. This one could go right down to the wire, and I'm sure both teams will be determined to get the win this time.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some fireworks. Okay, so there you have it, a complete preview of all 10 matches on Matchday 14. Let's take a moment to just recap some of the key predictions and storylines before we wrap things up.
Okay, so Opta is predicting wins for Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Tottenham. They think both Fulham-Brighton matches will end in draws, and they're also predicting a draw between Ipswich and Crystal Palace. There are some really exciting matches in there, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, me too. It's shaping up to be an amazing match day with something for everyone. Title implications, relegation battles, managerial debuts, and some mouth-watering individual battles. We've given you the Opta predictions and some key insights, but the beauty of the Premier League is that it's so unpredictable.
Exactly. Anything can happen. These predictions are just a starting point. There are so many factors that can influence the outcome of a match. Individual brilliance, tactical masterstrokes, moments of madness, and of course the atmosphere created by the fans.
Now, before we let you go and enjoy all the action, we want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. Which Opta prediction are you most skeptical of, and why? Look at the data. Think about the form, the history, the individual matchups, and then tell us which prediction you think is most likely to be wrong. We'll be back next week to break down all the drama, analyze the results, and see how our predictions held up.
Until then, enjoy the football and may your team win.
I'm excited to see what happens. Yeah, which storylines grab the headlines and which players, really shine. It's going to be a wild ride.
Definitely. Yeah, will Liverpool just keep marching on towards another title? Can City find their form again? Will Arsenal prove they're the real deal?
And can any of the underdogs, pull off a big upset? So many questions. That's what makes the Premier League so special, right?
Absolutely.
The drama, the passion, the unpredictability. It keeps us coming back for more. We'll be back next week to go over all the action, analyze the results, and see, how our predictions turned out.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
Until then, enjoy the matches, and may your team be victorious. Good luck, everyone.
Keep it locked right here on the Pundit Habibi podcast for all your Premier League analysis banter and, of course, those spicy Opta predictions. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the best football league in the world.